Welcome to the MLS Show. It is that time of the week. It is the game of the week. And this week, me and Scott have chosen Atlanta United against DC United. Basically because we could watch the whole game, which we did. Scott, our game of the week, a team that has excited us the way they've hit the ground running in MLS for an expansion team. And a team that started this one very, very well against DC United.
Yeah, I could not believe... Look, when they went 1-0 up in the 9th minute, that should have been 3-0 up in the 9th minute. And it would have been not for Bill Hamid's incredible saves to start the game. I thought that this was going to just carry on the whole game because I thought, geez, they are just so good. They are relentless. And then they get a lucky goal back with Michael Parkhurst sort of deflecting it across. And then, look, DC from there, they took control of the game.
They did. I was so impressed. Listen, any Orlando City fans, a few of them I've noticed don't really like Atlanta. And me being an Orlando City fan, I'm from the UK. So I'm an Orlando City fan from the UK, but I appreciate good football. And Atlanta United play good football. So that's my disclaimer before any Orlando City fan has a little go at me. But Atlanta United started this one absolutely brilliant. And Kenwyne Jones, a man who was much maligned in the UK now, I would say, towards the end of his career, he got them off to, a great start, a trademark Kenwyne Jones header. But they started off, DC, it looked as though they couldn't live with them. They were fast. Almiron was getting on the ball. They were closing down. They were creating chances. Bill Hamid, who I think is an absolutely fantastic goalkeeper, proved his worth. But you did see, the minute that the cross went in and Parkhurst deflected it into the net, you did see a little crisis of confidence. And then obviously Acosta scores an absolute beauty to put DC United ahead. And you're right, Scott, from that equaliser, the belief in DC was there for everyone to see.
Yeah, I just think that they, like you say, they lost a bit of confidence, Atlanta. And you say it's not... I actually, I shouldn't say that because I always get the feeling with this team, and I still did in the first half, even though they went 2-1 down, I still got the feeling that if they're 2-1 down, Atlanta has it in them to score and win 3-2. If they're 3-1 down, they have it in them to win 4-3. The problem is that the whatever sort of tactical decisions that Olsen made at halftime, he managed to isolate Almiron. Almiron all of a sudden was not as effective as he was in the second half, and he seemed like he was just trying to run around and find space, and he couldn't find anything. It was a massively different game in the second half to what it was the first. And look, even though they had 74% of the possession, and they created, I think, something like 400 more passes, and they had 20-something shots to, I think 8 or 9 for DC, they only had 7 shots on target. That's a problem. You can't have 26 shots on goal or 28 shots on goal, whatever they had, and only have 7 on target. And if you're going to have that sort of, ratio, you got to make sure 4 or 5 of them go in.
The goal by Acosta just quickly, Scott, what a lovely goal. It had a nutmeg in, a lovely bit of skill, ran across, and it's just, almost passed it into the corner of the net from the edge of the box. And he's a clever little player for DC. But you're right, whatever Ben Olsen said at half-time, the game flipped almost into the second half to Atlanta looking desperate, and then obviously they get the breakaway on 55 minutes. Latu, a lovely through ball. I think it was Acosta, wasn't it, that put the ball through?
He made the goal too.
Yeah. And Latu smashes it into the top corner. I was a little bit unconvinced by the keeper for this goal. He kind of turned his back on it was a bit of a strange goalkeeping action, but 3-1 down, I was like you. I still felt as though if they could get one back, that they may still rescue it. But DC and Bill Hamid, made a couple of really big saves. But I think the one thing I noticed, I don't know about you, Scott, too many side-to-side passes on the edge of the penalty area for Atlanta United. It was almost became passive for the sake of passing it at times.
Yeah, and like, we talk so much about, or I should say, I talk so much about tiki tata, but that is sort of what they're doing, right? I mean,
Yeah,
they're passing side to side. I mean, I know that, having the ball is the best way to keep it away from the other guy's goal, but look, they played a really smart game, Ben Olsen and DC United. Look, they came to town and they just knew that if they could, find that little inch of space and break, that they knew if they found that lane, that inch of space, that they were away at the races, and it showed on the two's goal. So look, they had a game plan. Don't get me wrong, and it almost backfired on them. I'll say, because look, they could have been 3-0 down within 10 minutes. So look, you look at that. I mean, 46,000 people though at Bobby Dodd Stadium. They have 30,000 season ticket holders. I don't think they could have chosen a better place to put an MLS team.
Yeah, the support is incredible. It's been fantastically well received, and obviously they move in to their new stadium in July. But they're certainly entertaining. Just I suppose a little bit of not a side issue, but for Atlanta United, they need to get Josef Martinez back as soon as possible, don't they? I know that he was injured in the international break, and they're definitely missing his direct running, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime you miss the guy scored 5 goals in 3 games. I mean, you're going to miss that no matter what. Like, whatever you think. I mean, with all the attacking talent they do have. Look, and Yamil Assad, what a little player he is. I mean, some of the touches and twists and turns. Again, he was shut out of the game too. When Almiron wasn't on it, Assad was on it. But then they both get shut out of the game by DC and Ben Olsen. So look, they miss Josef Martinez as well. But one thing I will say, I do want to sort of touch on a little bit, is how classy Perez is as a defender, I think. He has his moments where he goes wandering up the field a little bit, and sometimes he almost looks like he's playing sort of attacking midfield. But he's such a classy defender when you watch him on the ball. And Greg Garza was involved in everything.
He was.
I really, really rate him as a player very, very highly. And, look, they missed Laurentowicz in midfield, I think, Atlanta did.
Yeah, most definitely. Wouldn't want to come up against Gaza on a dark night. I know that. He looks scary. He does look a good player, but he looks quite scary, doesn't he?
Great he does, win. I don't want to get involved.
No, not at all. Great win for DC United. Loving their kit, by the way. Love that white kit. Looks.
Yeah, great. I think they did a really good job with the whole rebrand, with the new badge and everything like that. I think it's a really, really solid kit. Even their first kit, which is pretty tough to do stuff with, the black and red, but just solid black. I mean, they do a good job of it. I really do like what they've done with the rebrand. And look, DC is getting a soccer-specific stadium. It's a very tough word to say all in one go. Yeah. It's a mouthful. But look, that's imperative for them to keep this development curve going. They experienced a lot of success in MLS, and then not so much in the most recent years. But look, they can do that again, with these soccer-specific stadiums. I know it seems silly, but it's tough to attract players here to RFK when it doesn't feel like a game day experience. It's the same with the New England Revolution. Yeah. If it doesn't feel like somewhere the players want to be, then they're not going to come. But look, DC has a very good team of players right now. They just need to put it all together. And look, there was a couple of head-scratching sort of formations and combinations of players that they played last season, especially in the Revs home opener. I remember sitting there thinking, well, Travis Wara in goal. This is going to be hell for this DC team. But they look like a completely different side to them. And beating Atlanta on home turf, look. People might think that they go 100% on the gas the whole time, Atlanta, and, it's very easy to beat them, but it's not. It's really not. So, this is a good win for them, and they can take a lot of confidence in knowing that they went into Bobby Dodd in front of 46,011 people and took 3 points from them. Literally took it from them.
Yeah, and of course moved on to the same points as Atlanta now in the Eastern Conference, both on 11 points. Atlanta in 6th, DC 8th. Orlando City, of course, top from the Red Bulls, 18 points to 16 respectively. Anyway, that's been our game of the week. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Great result for DC United. Can Ben Olsen's team continue to get results like this and move up into those playoff places? If you're an Atlanta United fan, is it as simple as just needing Josef Martinez back, or what else does Tata Martino need to do to ensure that Atlanta United continue their fine start of the season up in the playoff places? Once again, a massive thank you to Scott Nicholls for joining me on the MLS show. Scott, say goodbye.
Thank you very much for having me. Always. Look, I'm happy to be here as long as you're happy to have me.
Always a pleasure, mate. Me and Scott will be back next week when there's games in the week. So these videos need to be out very quickly because there is midweek games.
They do. Thursday, we got them coming.
We do. So I want to get these videos out. And me and Scott will be back next week reviewing lots of different things. A big thank you again to all you for watching and subscribing, and we'll see you soon on the MLS Show. And a team that started this one very, very well against DC United.
Yeah, I could not believe... Look, when they went 1-0 up in the 9th minute, that should have been 3-0 up in the 9th minute, and it would have been not for Bill Hamid.
Basically because we could watch the whole game, which we did. Scott, our game of the week, a team that has excited us the way they've hit the ground running in MLS for an expansion team. And
needs incredible saves to start the game. I thought that this was going to just carry on the whole game because I thought, geez, they are just so good. They are relentless. And then they get a lucky goal back with Michael.
Welcome to the MLS Show. It is that time of the week. It is the game of the week. And this week, me and Scott have chosen Atlanta United against DC United.
Parkhurst sort of deflecting it across, and then look, DC from there, they took control of the game.
They did. I was so impressed. Listen, any Orlando City fans, a few of them I've noticed don't really like Atlanta. And me being